You're listening to 5 Minutes of English with Laura Pickens, a short podcast about the way we actually talk, like for real.
Most doctors don't give recipes. Hi, my name's Laura. I'm an American living in Russia, and welcome to 5 Minutes of English. These are some of my best things I've collected from my 16 years of teaching English to Russians, and today we're going to be breaking apart a very common mistake that Russians make. This is about the word recept. You'll notice that it looks a lot like the word receipt and translates to the word recipe. These words all come from the same Latin root. I don't know Latin, so I'm just going to take a stab at this. It comes from the Latin word recipere, which means to take or to receive. And you see this in other words like reception, to receive people, reciprocate, which means to take and to give. So the words we are going to talk about today all come from this one word. So, talking about the word recipe. The word recipe in English only means the instructions on how to cook something. The idea is that it's related to the root word like take this ingredient and take this ingredient and put them together. But that's not the word that doctors use when they tell you what medicines to take. In English, that is called a prescription. And that comes from the Latin words pre, which is before, and script or scriba, scribery. I don't know how to pronounce Latin. Apologies. But that means to write. And fun fact, in English, you can say script as shorthand to mean prescription. Do you have your script ready? A prescription is something that is official recommendation from a doctor. You need to have a prescription in order to get certain types of medications. You cannot get antibiotics without a prescription, but you don't need a prescription to get something like ibuprofen. A prescription is an official document from the doctor. A lot of times what I get from Russian doctors are doctor's notes where it has the recommendations of what to do. This I would not necessarily call a prescription. But there's another way that we refer to this in English, and this is what you would see in signage, and that is the capital letter R with an X through its leg. So it's like RX. This is shorthand for prescriptions. If you see that somewhere, it's like seeing a green cross. It shows you that there is a pharmacy here, a drugstore, or as British people call it, the chemist, which I think is crazy. So what does the RX mean? Well, that's the shorthand of Latin. This is what doctors wrote. It's shorthand for the Latin word to take, which looks like receipt or recipe, but we pronounce it as prescription in English. So let's go back to the word receipt, because that's the one that looks like the Russian word. This one still comes from the Latin word, but this one comes from the Latin word recepta, which means received. So the first one was about take, this one is about receive. It's still a transaction of things moving from one hand to the next. A receipt is a piece of paper that says that you have got what we said we would give you. Now, for some reason, we added a P into this word in the English language, and that was just for aesthetics. It just looks better with a P. I guess. I don't know. You tell me. Anyway, recipe. So, recipe. Instructions on how to cook something. Prescription, an official document from your doctor that allows you to get regulated medicine from the pharmacy. Receipt, proof that you received something, like goods or services. So you're not getting a recipe from your doctor unless he is just also a really good cook. Thank you guys for listening. I want to remind you that there's other ways that you can get my knowledge and content. I am active on Instagram, YouTube, and Telegram, where I create daily videos about my life living as an American in Russia. And we do deep dives in the cultural differences, mindset, psychology, and about communication. I have my open Telegram group where you can come and ask me questions, and I give daily tips that come directly from my private speaking sessions. I also have private speaking sessions where me and my clients, we speak English, where we workshop the way you speak in English so that your personality in Russian shines through into English so that you can feel more confident, more interesting, more clever and creative when you speak English instead of speaking those memorized phrases from your English lessons. It's not about grammar, it's not about vocabulary. It's about real world speaking and getting good at it. You can find information about all that on my website, laurapickens.ru. There's a link in the description, or you can join me next week for another podcast. Bye.